Hi, welcome to the CAFMA Connect. I'm your host, Fire Chief Scott Freitag. With me today, we're back.
Yes.
Assistant Chief Fedema.
It's been a little while. Kathy asked me if I knew what to do, and I said I'd just sit there quietly, and she's like, yeah, perfect.
Yeah. Well, some people like the look on your face when I say things you're not expecting.
Sure. That was a good time.
So I think I'd be remiss if I didn't start the podcast by saying Happy New Year. Welcome to 2024. Mm-hmm. We're unsure if we're bringing in a new year or we're just watching a train wreck. It's too early to tell.
Yeah. Nope. Nothing to say there.
Yeah. I'm going positive.
There you go.
I'm going to stay positive. Yeah. I think we're ringing in a new year with new opportunities. All kinds of information out there from different people about, this year, the recession, but the real estate market's going to do great. It's a crystal ball. It's kind of like doing work or making decisions using a magic 8-ball.
Correct. Yeah.
But some things we do know for sure, and we need to put this out. Kathy's going to help me with this, but applications opened yesterday, January 2nd, for firefighters. So we are in the hiring process. So if you or someone you know is interested in a profession with a purpose, this may be for you or them.
Yeah, I like it. And you look at the numbers, we're hiring upwards of 7 to Cody 10. So we'll just make sure we get that thrown out there, like the possibility of hiring that many.
I mean, if we're talking to Cody, then I would say 7 to 14.
Yeah, they're perfect.
Yeah. So somewhere around there, we are looking for a number of folks, a number of new firefighters, new positions, as well as filling attrition. Kathy, when does that application period close?
Yep, that's going to close February 8th at 5 o'clock p.m. our time, so Mountain Standard Time.
Okay, so and you can go to our website at cazfire.gov to fill out your application and submit all your paperwork. Is that correct?
Yes, you must. That is how we are doing it.
cazfire.gov. Something to remember with that, and John, I think you will agree with this. Our HR staff is not your mom.
No, that's true.
Right. So it's your job to make sure you read the directions, fill out the application appropriately, and submit all of your paperwork as directed in the directions. Yes. Quite honestly, that's test number 1 for applying with us.
And I almost failed test number 1, but obviously when I applied for reserve, you had to bring your application in, and I was working construction at the time and trying to get off to get the application in. Obviously, I waited till the last day. Why would you do that ahead of time?
Yeah.
When there was more time. So waited till the last day, got in the office at like 5:01 with my application, and this was for reserve, and went to the front desk, and they said, yes, we'd accept it, but you have to get on your knees and say please.
Say please.
I didn't hesitate.
Right.
And dropped to my knees, said please and thank you.
And here you are as an assistant chief.
So get it in on time is much more helpful, but it is much easier than it was long ago, and don't procrastinate.
No. Yeah, you get the information in. There's a lot of opportunity here in our organization moving forward, because the 7 to 12 positions that we're just using random numbers now that we are looking at trying to pick up this hiring process as part of our 3-year staffing plan. We're still in year 1. Throughout this budget cycle, we will be working into the budget and asking the board to approve year 2 of the 3-year staffing plan, which will be 8 additional positions. And if the board does approve us moving in that direction, then we will put those applications or open that application period in mid-July, you think, towards August, which is about the same time we'll find out about our CON, our license to transport. Yep. And so if we're successful in obtaining that license, that would be an additional 12 positions. So significant opportunity here just in new positions, and that's not to mention the attrition.
Yeah, no, there's going to be a ton of opportunity. And just remember, when you submit your paperwork, you're being evaluated from the very beginning. Sometimes if HR has to chase you down, that all gets passed along to the interview boards and everything. Like, oh no, we had to chase this person down for every cert. And obviously we want to bring in as many people as possible to hire the best candidates. But sometimes folks weed themselves out just in the application process.
Well, and here's something I think that we should highlight, John, with us and our organization is that the paramedic stipend approved by the board, a 3-year pay plan, is one of the most aggressive fire-based paramedic stipend in the state.
Yes. Yeah.
So something to think about is that, we are looking for paramedics. We're sending people to paramedic school. Yep. So again, a lot of opportunity there as we continue to develop this organization to meet the needs of our community.
Yeah. No, the community is growing, and the challenge is trying to, like I say, meet that need and look at, future expansion from stations to engines. We need the personnel, though, and we need good people. So,
absolutely. And I'm going to say this, I'm not going to put any numbers to it, but we had our first labor management meeting of the year yesterday. Yeah. We talked about the wage and benefit study that's ongoing currently. I think it's clear that there's going to need to be an adjustment, especially in the starting wage range. And so you're going to see some changes with that as long as the board approves as we move towards July, first of fiscal year. What that number is, I don't know yet. I'm not even going to speculate on this podcast, but I will say that we understand that the overall starting wage is lower than what it should be to meet the market. I think we're in market, but we're not where we need to be to really be competitive. Sure. We're not in the place we'd like to be.
Well, and even based on the information provided by, Ben and Labor Management yesterday, obviously we'll continue to, review those numbers, look at the Siegel study when that comes back as well. But across the board, obviously we acknowledge and certainly want to try to, make an adjustment this next year, and hopefully we can get the support to do that. Right. But I certainly want to acknowledge that we see the challenge, and we'll do the best we can to help, like I say, not a number at this point. A number will be, developed through labor management, but we want to improve those wages across the board.
Well, and I think that's something important, not just for the folks that we're trying to recruit to our organization, but also for our internal folks to understand that, especially on the operations side right now, we know that overtime is ridiculous. Yes. There's a lot of overtime because we have open positions, and we are trying to fill those, and we greatly appreciate everyone's effort. We know that you're tired. We know that it's wearing on you. And we're trying to get more people in and hired, and not just hire the minimum number that we're looking for, but hire beyond that so that when we do see attrition, we're not caught off guard with it. But it takes a while to get caught up.
Well, and we weren't even planning to test when we were testing. And like you say, we had to make that adjustment just based on attrition and the need. Right. And so now we obviously open up the application like we talked about from the beginning, but that first, that next academy will start in March. Mm-hmm. And the goal will be to be done in July. And we're going to go right into another testing. Right. So like you say, we're certainly trying to make plans to overcome this little obstacle that we're in right now, this lull in staffing. But that takes time.
It does. And I think it's safe to project. And we've talked about it with training. We've talked about it with HR. Yes, we have talked about it with Kathy, who has to put together all the material.
Thank you, Kathy.
Thank you, Kathy.
You're welcome. Thank you.
But we can expect to probably run 2 academies a year for the next 2 to 3 years. Sure. This year and then beyond that. We are starting to see more applicants. I think that's good. We're short personnel, but we just put 10 because the recruit class just graduated. So there's 10 new people on the floor. Yep. So that significantly reduces the number. We see some light duty folks starting to come back, but then beginning the new fiscal year, we have hazmat class starting next week.
Yes. Yep.
And then there's tech rescue after that?
Yeah, the tech rescue will be later in the spring, but we also have 2 additional folks going to paramedic class, so that's going to create some other staffing challenges. But like any of the, looking at the hazmat, looking at a few of those things, we have to continue to push forward in some of those areas so that we don't become operationally ineffective because of some of the challenges that we are facing. You look at even not just the turnover as we bring new folks in, trying to make sure we're encouraging getting that next step from acting qualifications. Right. We have had a lot of promotions. Great for the opportunity. Love to see what those folks are doing in those new promotions from, engineer, captain, BC. It's awesome to see those folks doing great work, and we're going to continue to see those changes.
Yeah. No, and it's just a dynamic time right now. And I don't want to sound the alarm and say, oh my God, we're so short staffed. That's not it.
Sure.
We do have some open positions. We'll get those filled. We have a few people on light duty, some starting to get cleared, some getting cleared back to light duty, which is a huge step. So I think we're going to start seeing some of that those overtime numbers decrease.
That's the goal.
It's a twofold kind of issue. Because when there's too much overtime, there's a lot of concern about too much overtime. And then when there's not much overtime, there's a lot of concern about there's not enough overtime. Mm-hmm. So we're trying to find that balance that never exists.
Yeah. We'll keep going back and forth over the top of it. But right now we're looking at trying to hire the folks to reduce it.
We are. And I think part of that too is we're hiring more, part of the 3-year staffing plan, because we know we want to put up another engine company. We're looking at the ARU, the alternative response unit models. We're looking at that Pro QA dispatch that should be online sometime in May, which will change how the dispatch is done, which will also change how we respond. So there's a lot of things in play here that we're working on. We're in escrow on a piece of property at Glassford Hill and Santa Fe Loop, a commercial piece, 1.62 acres, for a future fire station, which for the public listening, no, we don't have money to build it yet. Yeah. We'll be coming to talk to you soon.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it's costs are high.
Right. So I think when we look at this year, John, I started by saying, hey, this is either we're ringing it in or it's a train wreck. Honestly, I think for us, we're ringing in a new year with a lot of new opportunities, a lot of opportunity for folks in our community that are looking to change a profession. Yep. For example, we've had some folks, business owners that still own their businesses on the side, but really wanted to give back to the community and are now part of the fire department. Yep. We've had folks change careers, and some from some significant career changes from air traffic control to fire department. Yeah. Right. That's a big change, but they were committed to those things. So, if you're out there and you're in a profession today and you're like, this just isn't fulfilling, CAZfire.gov is where you can go apply with us.
I like it.
All right. Kathy, one more application period opening up Monday. Is that correct?
Yes, for finance specialist. It's going to open January 8th and it's going to close February 1st.
And same thing, CAZfire.gov to apply?
Correct.
Perfect. So again, more opportunity coming in. We're going to have more people on deck, and I'm kind of excited. Honestly, looking at 2024, I'm excited about what we have ahead of us.
Why is Kathy laughing over there?
You seem excited.
Yeah.
I am excited.
Come on. This is going to be awesome.
It's going to be an awesome year, especially when I get these back issues and stuff fixed. It's going to be a much better year. John, I do have a meme to share with you after this regarding New Year's resolutions, following up on a conversation from earlier this week. Yeah. But with that, I think the last thing is to remind folks out there, if you're interested in the fire department, now is the time to apply. CAZfire.gov. Applications close February 8th. Am I correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. And we have so many resources out there too, like how to make it through the oral boards. We've got podcasts and social media. You can go learn all about it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's one of the keys. You take the Wonderlic test, which is an online behavioral type of thing. Yeah. But it's really that getting to that oral interview and getting through the oral interview process. So take time, do mock interviews with, I tell you that the toughest crowd I ever had doing mock interviews was with my mom, who was a human resource professional, and my wife. So your family can really put you on the spot.
You can't lie to them.
No, they know you. So with that, take advantage of this opportunity, and we'll see you next week.